Hello everybody. Today I thought we'd take a look at my tarot journaling. I have two of these Rhodia dot grid softcover notebooks in a leather traveler's notebook like cover. I got the cover off Amazon. The notebooks I think I ordered through Goulet, but I think they're also available through Amazon. And this first journal is my monthly and weekly journal. And my card of the year this year is Temperance. So I decided, as a means to connect with the card a little bit more, I decided to go ahead and sketch it out. I'm thinking eventually I might color it, but it hasn't happened yet. And here we're into April, so who knows? So then I did kind of a deep dive into the Temperance card. I pulled out all of my decks, which are not too many because I've actually only been reading tarot for about just about a year and a half, I guess. I pulled out all of my versions of the Temperance card I had at the time. I took photos of them and I scaled them down and printed them out, and you can see them scattered throughout here. And I kind of journaled my thoughts about Temperance. I found it very, very interesting because the overriding theme I felt was finding that balance between seeming opposites and creating something better. And I've been working with DBT for quite a while now, and DBT is all about finding that middle road, which isn't always, 50-50. And so I thought it was a fitting card. I think it was telling me that I'm really finding my way, that I'm really connecting with this DBT stuff, and that my hard work is starting to pay off. Then over here, I worked with some of the prompts. I adapted them from Guidebook for the Gaian Tarot. I haven't actually worked with any of them, but I do look over them and think about them from time to time. Sometimes they might kind of make their way into my meditation practice. I summarized my year ahead spread. And because I come from a science background and such, I really like to analyze and look for patterns and things like that. So you can see here that I looked at the distribution of the court cards, of the suits, and of the the numerology that showed up in the reading. And I had a lot of cups and wands. Of course, pentacles weren't too far behind, but 10 majors, 6 of which were in reverse, which so far, yeah, I would have to say 2020 is probably going to be a very life-changing, very pivotal year for probably most of us out there. And then I went and read the year as 4 mini spreads, kind of, and I looked at each quarter. And so this is just a summary of each of those quarters of the general energy that I was getting from those readings. Then the cards that I pulled for each month have gotten their own page. I've chosen a couple of the affirmations. I think one from the light version of the Light Seers Tarot, and I think the other from the shadow, but I don't remember exactly for certain. I left a space for reflection, but as you can see, I haven't actually gone back and written about the month. I think I'll probably forget about it for January and February, so I'm not sure I could accurately reflect back on it. I mean, maybe if I read through my bullet journal, I could, but I'm not certain. Here's March and April. And these are just, I took a photograph of the cards, shrunk it down in Photoshop, and printed out a couple pages worth of these spreads, cut them out, pasted them in here with some scrapbook paper. Every month looks very similar. I have at least 2 affirmations, I have a summary, and I have a spot for a reflection. Perhaps I'll get to writing that reflection for March here before it becomes a blur with everything that's happening in April. Then I thought I'd show you how this all kind of works out. So I've only written in through April so far, but I have all of my notes and everything here so that I can write those things in. So I can still go back and write down my first impressions and all of that. I just haven't made the time just yet to do that on any more of the months. So we have all the months pasted in here. And then this is, I think, my favorite spread. Of course, being a data geek, like I said, looking for patterns and all of that. This is my at a glance tracker. And this allows me to track what cards I've gotten in each month and look for the stalker cards. Now, I let my practice kind of slip away for a bit in January, and it was a slow start in February. But I kind of got in the groove here in March. You can see that I have been stalked by the Moon card lately. The Moon card and the Eight of Cups showed up 5 times this month for me. Then I had several others that showed up 4 times. I had the Empress, the Hermit, which, given the quarantine, that's kind of humorous. The Seven of Swords, the Three of Cups, and the Six of Pentacles. And I have to say, almost all of my pentacles came in the last 2 weeks of March, which makes a lot of sense, looking and striving for some sort of stability, right? So you can see here I have the majors denoted by purple, I have the swords by yellow, cups by blue, wands by pink, and pentacles by green. And then I have the courts for each of those suits up here. I would have liked to fit in a way to track the numerology, but that hasn't come to me. I do have an empty spread on the next side here, so I may end up adding that in. And then here is my first spread for a weekly reading. And I chose to use the Gaian Tarot, and I pulled an overall energy, a tool I could use, and the likely outcome. And this was inspired by Kim at Abundant Life Tarot. She used to use that format when she was doing monthly readings. And then I'm calling upon a crystal spirit, an herb, and an angel or ancestor to help me through the energies of the month. So then I noted the cards, because these are pretty small and hard to read. In this month, I wrote just a little bit about each of the allies, which is what I'm calling this bottom row. Little summary about the top 3 cards, and then my reflection of the week. And then these itty bitty ones here are photos again of the 3 card spread, and I shrunk them down to fit here. I'm noting the cards and writing just a short synopsis. Then at the end of the week, I'm looking at what showed up. This also helps to fill in that larger spread at the end of the month. And this week I happened to go back and like underline in gold the words that really seem to relate to the day at the end of the day. I kind of fell off of doing that though as I continued on. So then you'll see very similar format each week here as I go through. Again, getting a little lax about noting the reflections, but that's okay. Giving myself some grace, right? This particular week I did a little better and I came back and wrote down. I also tried a little thing of taking the reading and creating a few action steps to take. And I really like that, but for some reason I didn't carry it forward. This is the only week I did that, but I may be dusting that off and bringing it back. Again, we've got the daily draws, noting the cards, color-coded at the top, brief synopsis, and then at the end of the week, a glance at the various energies that were present. And I should note that these counts are only for this spread. They're only for the weekly reading and the daily draws. And we have another one here. Again, it's the same, except you'll see that I missed a day. Sometimes if I just missed one day, I'll do a after reading. But I didn't bother for that day. Part of me thinks I did and forgot to take a picture of it, but I'm not certain. And this was last week. And sometimes I choose the colors that I'm putting in based on kind of the colors that jump out for me from the weekly reading. What really struck me this week was how the dailies ended up really picking up that color as well. I found that kind of amusing. And all my daily draws so far in this journal are using light seers, and I'm using the same set of decks for the weekly draws so far. Just been what I've been called to. And then just to look at what it looks like midweek. I have noted everything from the weekly reading here. I have my synopsis here, spot for reflection. And I wait to print things out until I have a pretty solid sheet of paper filled, because we pay per sheet of printing for the ink. So I like to make sure that my pages are relatively full. So you'll see that I have Mondays pasted in, but I don't have the rest. I have a faint line here showing me where the image will be, so I can write without the image in place there. I can make note of the synopses, and then probably sometime, Sunday or Monday, I'll go in and paste those in place. And so that's my daily and weekly tarot journal thus far. I don't know, I think I'll probably end up needing another one of these before the end of the year, but so far I'm really liking it. It's working out quite well for me. But that is a look at my tarot practice and how I journal it as a means to deepening my wisdom and knowledge of the tarot. As always, it has been a pleasure to share this with you. Love to hear how you journal your tarot readings or oracle readings or both. Leave a comment, drop a link to your channel if you've got a video of how you do your tarot journaling. I'd love to see it. And if you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments, leave a thumbs up, hit subscribe. I hope to do more of these in the future. I look forward to connecting with you. Until we meet again, be well. Namaste.